5 attitudes people have towards money that I find can keep them broke their entire lives. What's up, everybody? Mike the CPA here. Thank you for joining me here once again on Money and Life TV. I am so honored to have you. People have all different kinds of attitudes or feeling towards money. But as you're watching this video or listening to this video, let me know in the comments if the things we're talking about today, these different attitudes, remind you of people, whether they remind you of family members, friends, or whomever. I would love to hear what you guys have experienced in the comment section down below as we talk about these things. I wanted to cover these 5 attitudes towards money because they're very, very common, and these very common attitudes, even though they're simplistic, they can keep people poor or broke or struggling financially their entire life. So it's important we identify them and address them. The first poor money attitude I want to start off with is the idea or the mindset that money just isn't that important. Did you guys know that? That all that hard work you're doing for that green stuff, it's just not that important. Well, you know what I think of that? I think that's Now certainly there are so many things we can place more value on than money, right? But when someone typically tells me, Mike, well, money just isn't that important. I don't know about you, but from my experience, those words or that idea is coming from somebody who has very little to no money. Either they don't have very much money or they don't truly understand how important having money will be later on in their life. They haven't connected all the dots or they're not thinking long term. Now, this is not an uncommon way to think though. If you think about school, all the years we spend in school, how many schools actually try to highlight the importance of money? Very few, if any at all. And if you think about television now, and this is just my opinion, but when I watch TV, what I've noticed is that most shows have no concept of teaching you how to be financially successful. And from what I've observed, most shows people drive brand new cars, they have designer clothes, they have the fanciest cell phones, the nicest technology. You'll see certain brand names thrown throughout the TV shows. So it's not about saving money at all. I think when I watch TV, I get the feeling that they want me to spend more. They're trying to slightly influence me to spend more of my money to have all these nice things. And can somebody please explain to me, because I really need this explained to me, apparently, with HGTV, what is up with the people on HGTV? These people buying homes and renovating homes. They never seem to come in under budget. They have a max budget, they always hit the max budget, and then they always seem to go over budget. What is up with that? When I see that, I'm just like freaking out. I've seen people go $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 over budget, and they're like, oh well, hey Chipper, I'm sorry to tell you, but we're $30,000 over budget on our home renovation. We're gonna have to switch you away from that brand name birdseed now to the generic kind. Sorry. Now, the danger from operating from this attitude of money isn't that important is 1, you're going to be more likely to spend more money. 2, you're going to be more likely to go into debt. And 3rd, you're less likely to save for retirement. And 4th of what I've seen is this excuse of money isn't that important is I've seen some people actually become lazy or use it as an excuse not to work. What I've seen all too often is later on in life, the people who have this attitude end up struggling financially the rest of their life. They live a very stressful life and a life that is loaded with debt. Money impacts nearly everything we do, from the way we spend our money to the way we spend our time. It impacts our relationships, and ultimately it can impact our health as well. So if I were to ask you, is your time important? Is your health important? Is your relationships important? You bet your ass they are. Money isn't everything, but you're not helping anyone, including yourself, by staying broke. Now, if you'll kindly excuse me just for a second, I'm gonna go grab my sledgehammer and knock out this wall to expand my office. I'm sorry, guys, I'm totally hooked to HDTV. Go! The second poor attitude I find people have towards money is money won't make you happy. How many of you have heard this one? Do you believe it? Do you think it's true? Do you sometimes think that people say that to sometimes rationalize why they don't have their finances in order. Now, I do agree that money will not directly make you happy. Okay, money, you're gonna make me happy, and you're gonna make me happy right now. Come on, do it, make me happy. So like I said, money will not directly make you happy. But what I found for myself is indirectly, money tends to make me very happy. And let me explain. So for me, having money isn't about having a bigger house, driving nicer cars, things like that. I don't chase status. I am not a status chaser and I never will be. But for me, what having money means is it brings peace of mind. If I have money working for me, building and generating passive income, then that gives me options and I start to gain more control over my time, more control over my life. And what I have found, when I have more control over those things, because I have money working for me instead of me working for it, it makes me happier because I have less stress. And the less stressed I am, the happier or the easier it is for me to be happier. Does that make sense? And of course, the other thing that makes me very happy besides money is when you guys crush that like button. Now, I'm already aware that some of you out there are probably gonna fill your coffin full of money in hopes that it will travel with you when you die. Give it a shot. The ancient Egyptians tried it. That's what they tried to do. It didn't work out too well, but by all means, you do you, brother.
You do you.
This attitude towards money of you can't take it with you when you die is actually a healthy reminder that it's not a good idea to hoard money or to try to worship it by any shape or form. I think that part of this attitude is totally healthy, totally fine. But I think when it can become unhealthy or harmful is when somebody is using it as an excuse to spend money frivolously or go into debt or just be irresponsible financially. That is what I've seen this type of attitude being used for more often than not, unfortunately. For somebody with this kind of attitude, what I would encourage them to think about is try to think beyond just yourself. It's not all about you. It's not all about me, but try to think of others. Instead of the mindset of, oh, well, I can't take it with me when I die, so I'm gonna spend it all. Instead, I would encourage you to replace that mindset with, who can I share this money with when I pass away? What type of legacy can I leave? And who could this money really benefit? Now, this came as a huge surprise to me to find out that life wasn't all about me. I know, right? I mean, did you think it was all about you? Apparently it's not. I've always thought life was all about that selfie. The fourth poor attitude towards money is evil. Did you guys know that? Have you ever been accused of being money hungry or greedy because you want to do well financially? Well, I can tell you I have. I wish I were exaggerating because it's true. I used to have some friends, well, I used to call them friends, who would remind me, Mike, money is evil. You shouldn't try to do so well. It's, you shouldn't be focused on that. So I'm sorry, folks, if you have money laying around your house, it's time to get rid of it. It's evil. You want to get rid of it. To help you get rid of it, in the description section down below, I'll leave you the link to my bank account so you can directly deposit it there to get all of that evilness out of your house immediately. Actually, most of us know, if you've read the Bible or if you've read this passage of the Bible, that the love of money is the root of all evil. So the very fact that if you just have money and want to do well financially, you're not money hungry, you're not greedy, you're just trying to take care of your family, because honestly, it takes a lot of money these days to do it, because our government's in massive amount of debts. We have a ton of taxes placed on our shoulders and even more to come. I guarantee you, even more to come. And our currency is devaluing right before our eyes. So having money is not a bad thing. In fact, you're probably going to need it. You're probably going to need more of it, and sooner rather than later. So if somebody's coming to you and they're saying, oh, you're money hungry or you're greedy, well, they just don't get it. They can't see the full picture. So just by you having money, it doesn't make you evil, okay? It just means that you're trying to take care of your family. Of course, though, when somebody finds out that you have more money than they do, well, then you're automatically evil. Ah, hell, there's no winning here, guys. Whether you're trying to obtain more money for your family or you have more money than some of your family members, you're automatically pegged as evil either way. So you might as well get rich in the process. Let's move on to the last one. Number 5, this one is especially important. This is the person who says, well, I don't have money because I'm not as privileged as you. Oh my gosh, guys, this one is so much fun. Please tell me you have friends or family members or people you know who think like this. Please tell me you do, and please share your stories in the comments. It's very entertaining to read. Now, people operating from this mindset, if you know people like this, you'll notice that they are gonna tell you that they're not well off, they're not doing well, whether it's with finances or anything else, because they're not privileged. They don't have bad luck. They weren't born into the right household. So therefore, they cannot be successful. They would be doing a whole lot better if they just had the same life as you. This is the kind of stuff that goes all the way back to childhood, when that moment came, when hopefully it came for you, it sure did for me, when your mommy or daddy told you life is unfair. How many of you remember that lesson? How many of you who were told that? Why does Joseph have a candy bar and I don't? Well, why does she get to play on the swings at the park and I don't get to go today? That's not fair. Now, to be clear and to be fair, I don't deny that people are born with certain privileges, myself included. And I really started to notice it in high school, is when I noticed that some of the other kids, their parents were more well off or better off, and so they would come to school in high school in a brand new car, a very slick, very nice looking car, or they would have the nicest clothes, or they'd always have the nicest cell phone, things like that. And I used to get really jealous of those sort of people, and I'm like, well, that's not cool because my parents are kind of broke and I can't get that. They're privileged and that's why they're doing so well. I used to think like that. But as I grew older and I had more experience in the real world, I came to realize that I too was privileged. Now, my parents weren't well off, they weren't wealthy, but I still had a pretty good life overall. I still had a nice roof over my head. I was able to get a used car, things like that. I had to work in order to have a cell phone, car insurance, but whatever. But overall, my life really isn't that bad. Because when I look over, I can easily find people who are, less fortunate than I was. And if I look over on this side, I can find people who are better off than I am. So I was kind of somewhere in the middle. So I still had privileges regardless. And even today, at the age of 34, I still feel like I have some very good privileges, or just blessed in general because of what I have and what I'm grateful that I have in my life. Now, I think the true danger of this attitude, and this is a very dangerous attitude to have, is the mindset of constantly comparing yourself to others, either to try to make yourself feel better because you have more, or because you have less. There's a real fundamental issue here, ladies and gentlemen. It's unhealthy, and I can tell you from my life experience so far, what I've learned, and this is just my opinion, but what I've learned is all this privilege stuff, does it exist? Sure, it does exist. But if you want to make progress in your life, and for me to make progress in my life, what I have to do is take that whole privilege idea and throw it out. Because none of it matters. And the reason none of it matters is because the longer I sit here trying to compare myself to somebody else is another moment of my life that I do not progress in my own life. No matter how unfair it is that they're born into that family or they have those things, it doesn't matter to me because I know that I cannot progress in my own life by constantly thinking about what I don't have and what others do have. When my mom and dad told me that life is unfair, they were absolutely right. Because no matter how much as a society we try to equalize everything, it's not going to work. And it's proven that it's not working. It's unnatural. It goes against nature. Now, they taught me life is unfair, but you know what they also taught me is that I have the capability of, if I don't have something, they taught me that I can work towards obtaining that I can take steps, make changes in my own life, and start to work towards improving it. But I can't do that when I'm constantly trying to compare myself to others. And that's why this whole privilege argument, it really bugs me because, yeah, sure, you can complain all day of what you don't have, but I can guarantee you that you will never have what you want unless you quit thinking that way and start going after what you want and making some personal changes that can be very difficult to make, very scary, very emotional changes in order to start making progress towards obtaining the things you and I want to obtain. So when we have these people who come to us, and if you have people who think like this around you, be very careful around them, because they're in a very poor state of mind, and their attitudes towards money and privilege and all these things is harming them. When you hear them use lack of privilege or not having privilege as an excuse for being broke, to them it's actually a reality. It's a reality to them, because in their mind, they are literally holding themselves back from progressing by thinking this way. They are so focused and so blinded by focusing on the lives of others. If they could only step away and look into the mirror and look at their own life and see how many blessings they have, how much good things they have in their own life, how many opportunities they've been given with their own unique set of skills, their personality, their talents, they would be amazed by how much progress they can make. But they can't do that until they break through the idea that they don't have money because they're not privileged. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we just covered 5 very common attitudes I have found people have towards money that keep them broke their entire life. I find that these type of attitudes towards money, or these mindsets, cause people to, 1, it gives them an excuse to not work as hard in life. 2, it gives them another reason to be lazy or less strategic with their finances, or to not get their finances in order. And 3, it gives them these ideas or mindsets, gives them a way to rationalize why they're not successful financially, or why they don't want to try to become financially successful with the mindsets they have around money. Now that we've covered those attitudes, please let me know in the comment section down below whether these attitudes remind you of anybody you've encountered in your own life, and what was their attitude towards money. I would love to hear your experiences, your stories, in the comment section down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to let me know by dropping a like button. I really appreciate it. Plus, it helps get this information out to more and more people. Be sure to share this information with a friend, especially somebody who has some poor attitudes around money. Our goal and mission here on Money and Life TV is to help you become fiscally fit, as we make videos every single week that teach finances, investing, taxes, and more on a regular basis. To not miss any of our future uploads, be sure to hit that red subscribe button down below the video. And if you hit that bell notification icon, it's gonna notify you every time I post a new video, which is about once per week. Okay, everyone, I hope you have a great week. I'm very honored that you spent time here today with me on YouTube. It means a lot to me. I look forward to reading your comments down below. And until next time, have a fantastic week and use this information to live your life uncaged. I'll see you in the next one, everybody. Love y'all. Peace.